So you've been wanting to learn electric guitar, or maybe you have a family member, someone who wants to learn how to play electric guitar, and you don't know where to start for their first guitar. What I hope you avoid is a mistake like this. This guitar is marketed as an inexpensive beginner's guitar, and on paper it looks like a good instrument to start with, but this particular guitar is maybe the worst guitar I've ever played. And if you're a beginner and you had this instrument, you would have probably given up a long time ago because you thought you were doing something wrong, when in reality, it was the guitar that was making everything sound bad. And I've played for years and I cannot get this guitar to sound good. It is not enjoyable to play. It is basically unplayable. So what I'm gonna show you today is how to get the best guitar for your budget, even if you've never played a guitar before. And if you get this right, you'll have an instrument that you can play potentially for the rest of your life. I was given as a gift my first guitar, and I've had it for almost 30 years, and it is still my preferred guitar to play every day. So let's get right into it. Here are 7 things that you need to know when you're buying your first guitar. First thing to know is whether you want a new or used guitar. To me, this is the wrong question. What you really need is to be able to get your hands on whatever guitar it is that you want to buy. You need to actually hold it and interact with it so that you know if it's the right one. If you just mail order a guitar, you'll never know. It's kind of like luck to get the right guitar. So I have played really cheap used guitars that were amazing to play, and I've played expensive guitars that were terrible. And it's not necessarily about the price or whether it's brand new or what brand it is. It all has to do with how it's set up, and to know that you really need to get your hands on it. Now, when it comes to new or used, I actually prefer a used guitar. Most of the time, unless you're buying like a rare vintage guitar, you're gonna get a better deal, and it will be sort of broken in. I enjoy older guitars because they have a little bit of wear on them that makes them easier to play, as long as something isn't broken. But regardless of whether it's new or used, you need to get your hands on it. So go to a local guitar store. Ideally, you would take somebody with you that at least plays a little bit. And if you don't know anybody that can take you to get your hands on a guitar, a lot of times if you ask the right questions at a store, they'll point you to guitars that stand out as good guitars in their store. What I usually avoid is looking at the package that comes with the cheapest guitar and the little amp and all that, because you don't know what you're getting in that box unless you can play it. The times that I've gone to a store looking for something, there's usually somebody in that store that knows every guitar hanging on that wall. They can point you to a good playing guitar. So number 2 is the style of guitar that you want. Now this seems kind of like maybe about vanity or not like the specs, but you want to like the guitar that you get. So a couple things I think about: the music I like or the music that I think I'm gonna play. Do the players that I like play the type of guitar? And apart from that, do you just like the way it looks? So does it look cool? Does it make you feel cool when you have it? That may sound silly, but if you want a guitar, you want something that makes you feel good. But let's dive deeper into that, the style. What's appropriate for what you want to play? There's really only 3 types of electric guitars. So every solid body guitar that you could get is based on one of 3 models that dates back to the 50s. And the first type would be the Telecaster style guitar, which was the first solid body electric guitar ever made, which is a great all around kind of workhorse guitar, country, rock and roll, blues, jazz. It does everything. The second style would be the Les Paul style guitar. Most of the time you're thinking of rock and roll, metal, more heavy rock styles with the Les Paul. And then you have the Strat, the Fender Stratocaster style. And that's what this guitar, this is actually based on a Strat. The Strat is kind of known for blues, less heavy rock and roll, but each of these guitars crosses over and they have like a wide range of styles that they can do. The third thing to think about when you're picking a guitar is the pickups that are in the guitar. And the pickups are these bar-shaped things on the guitar. And these are what pick up the sound of the strings and send to your amplifier. So the type of pickups that you have in your guitar determine a lot of what the sound is. Generally, there's two types of pickups, and this guitar has both of them. So you have a single coil pickup, which would be like this pickup right here, and then you have what's called a humbucker. Humbucker has two coils. The single coil pickups are typically brighter, and you'll see that in the Telecaster and the Strat. Those are mainly guitars that originally came with single coil pickups. Now, those style guitars can also have humbuckers. There's almost an unlimited number of combinations in pickups, but the single coil pickup is brighter and it kind of cuts through a mix a little more. The drawback of a single coil pickup is that they hum, they're noisy. So if you're playing high gain music like metal or harder rock, you're gonna get noise out of your pickups. They're gonna hiss, or they're gonna have a little bit of a hum to them. Which brings me to the humbucker, which is two coils. These two coils sort of cancel out that hum that happens, which makes a humbucker more suitable for high gain styles like metal. Now, this isn't a hard and fast rule. You can pick which pickup you want. The humbucker is gonna be less noise and it's gonna be a little bit warmer, where the single coil is gonna cut through a mix with the trade-off of being a little bit noisier if you're using more gain. The determining factor of the pickups would be the style of music that you wanna play. And this guitar is a good example of sort of a compromise. So this would be a Strat style guitar, but it has a humbucker in the bridge. So you can use this bridge pickup to get more of the harder rock, higher gain sounds without all the noise, but still have your single coil for some of the other typical Strat sounds that you would get. The number 4 thing to do, and this is where you need to have the guitar physically hold it, ergonomics. So how does it feel just sitting in your lap? A lot of guitars, when you play them, sit really nice and others don't. Personally, I like a Telecaster guitar. I like the way it sits in my lap. I just like the way it feels, but some people don't like the Telecaster because the original design doesn't have what's here, like a belly cutout that kind of contours to your body. The original Tele was just a flat slab of wood. Other guitars like a Strat, they sit comfortable to me as well. If you want a Les Paul style guitar, you may want to hold it in your lap. To me, they feel awkward to sit down and play. Or if a guitar like an SG is neck heavy, so the neck has what's called neck dive, it will fall over in your lap like that. So you have to prop it up with your hands. So other options would be Jazz Masters, or what they call offset guitars, which are good for bigger people over 6 feet. They're kind of made to fit a bigger frame when you play them. But go to a store and try out a bunch of different guitars. See how they feel sitting on your lap. Does it feel good? Then after that, it's how does the neck feel in your hand? Now there's a lot of different shapes and tapers to neck. And if you're not a player, you've never played guitar before, you may not know that you even have a preference. Maybe that's not important to you. The other thing to think is just your body size in general. If there's a small child, they may not need a full-size guitar because it's just too big for them. The 5th thing that I check when I pick up a guitar is the action. So the action is how high the strings are off the fretboard. The higher the strings are, the harder it is to push down the strings. It's gonna take more effort to play, and that effort is not gonna feel good. It's not gonna make you a fast player. It's not gonna make you a clean player. And if the strings are too high, you're actually bending the strings and pushing the guitar out of tune as you play, which is one of the problems that this particular guitar has. If you look down at the neck, you kind of want them as close as they'll get. Usually about 2 millimeters or so is pretty good. You just want it to be as easy as possible to push the strings down. You're gonna have a better time. And related to that is number 6, which is the frets and the neck. And one of the big telltale signs of a cheap guitar that doesn't feel good is if you slide your hands up and down the neck. You can listen to this guitar. You can hear those frets. They dig into my hand and my fingers. And if it's really bad, it can actually like snag and cut your hands. That is the sign of a cheap guitar. Bad fretwork makes the guitar not pleasant to play. So I slide my hands up and down and I feel the frets, and this one is pretty bad. Then as you're checking the frets, you also want to see if any of them buzz really bad. So when you pick a note, it should ring clear and not have like this kind of buzzy sound. And if you check it all the way up the neck, sometimes you can find problem frets where it just kind of buzzes and doesn't ring clear. Now this guitar does not have that problem because the action is so high. If you have high action, your frets aren't going to buzz. It's usually a problem with low action guitars that aren't set up correctly. Now you notice so far we have not plugged the guitar in, we haven't plugged into an amp, we haven't tried to figure out how it sounds, because I always want to find out if all those things are right first before I even bother to plug a guitar in. If it plays well and you've spent a little bit of time just seeing if it feels good before plugging it in, it's most likely going to be a good guitar. Number 7 is going to be to check the electronics on the guitar. I'd plug it in, I'd turn all these knobs up, and typically the one closest to the pickups is the volume, and you usually have some tone knobs. They're set up different depending on the guitar, but I'll turn all the knobs up and just make sure I'm getting some sound out of it. I'll switch the switch back and forth, make sure that all the positions work correctly and there's not a bunch of noise when you work that switch. Then the next thing I'll do is I will twist these pots up and down and see if they have like static or crackly sounds. Sometimes if you have old or dirty pots, you can hear a crackly sound in them. And a lot of times, if a guitar's been sitting for a long time, it may have some oxidation in there that'll just go away if you turn the knobs a bunch. Other times you have to actually do some digging in to clean and fix some stuff. Once you've checked all those things out, now hopefully you found an instrument that you like that will help you learn quickly and without frustration. When it comes to budget, you basically want the best guitar that you're able to afford. That doesn't necessarily mean the most expensive guitar. Really, it comes down to the setup of the guitar. You could buy a cheaper guitar and pay someone to set up to make all those things that I just talked about right, and that may cost a few $100s, or you could spend that budget on a nicer guitar that's already set up correctly. That's why it's important to me to go and hold on to a guitar, feel it, touch it, play it, because sometimes it surprises you that a guitar that's half the price of a different one plays better. Now there's one thing you notice that I didn't say, and that's the actual tone of the guitar. So once you've checked out that everything works, the tone is going to come from your amp, your fingers, and your technique, and that's something that you're going to be learning. If you have questions about buying a first guitar, put them in the comments. I will try to answer as many as I can. If you found this helpful or you know someone this will help, share it with them. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to make more videos like this. Maybe you'll see that buy your first amp video soon. I'm also going to show you how to fix the issues that this guitar has so it's actually playable.